Before we start, I just want to say happy birthday, Chuuya. Happy birthday, me. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. It has been a second since I have done a long form video, and I don't think I've ever done a long form video quite like this one. Today I've brought forth Today I decided that I wanted to discuss some of the discoveries that I had made about Chuuya's part ability, his corruption. I have been doing research on this topic for, I want to say, a good couple days now, and I found some intriguing information regarding exactly the history and the mythology and everything behind this god Arahabaki outside of Bungo dogs and inside of Bungo dogs. And I'm wanting to share this information with you because I want for you guys to be aware, and I want for you guys to understand more of Chuuya's character just as much as I'm trying to understand more of Chuuya's character. Chuuya Nakahara's ability is called For the Tainted Sorrow. It is more commonly known as a poem written by the poet Chuuya Nakahara. For the Tainted Sorrow is the ability to manipulate gravity and move gravitons around, and it even gives Chuuya the ability to walk on the ceiling or quirky shit like that. Now, the actual poem For the Tainted Sorrow explores themes of sorrow and despair as implied in the title, but it also described an acceptance of the bleak future that is to come. For the Tainted Sorrow also uses imagery of snow, fur, and dreams of death to really convey the sense of melancholy and resignation. But we're not here to talk about the poem For the Tainted Sorrow. We're here to talk about Chuuya's corruption ability, which is the second half of this due to his experiments in Stormbringer in the military facility. Now, it's quoted by Dazai himself that corruption is an ultimate form for Chuuya, and it destroys his body from the inside out, which is, God only knows how painful. Something that I've noticed while doing this research is that the art that comes up for corrupted Chuuya isn't displayed in the way that I personally would have approached it. Now, a lot of people try to make corrupted Chuuya seem ethereal or attractive, and in a way, I feel that is so mischaracterizing. What I'm saying is that there is no representation within those arts that really show the physical and mental strain that corruption has on Chuuya. It comes off to seem as though that this part of his ability is just easy for him to do. Corruption is supposed to be the most messed up thing that anyone has ever seen, and that's why people are afraid of it. That's why people are scared. But again, this destroys him. This kills him. This is killing him. Not only is it supposed to be powerful, but it's supposed to be just unsettling. You're supposed to look at him and be like, that is a man who doesn't have any humanity within him. That's what Stormbringer was saying. You are not human, Chuuya. You never were, and this is why. That's what makes Dazai calling Chuuya's corrupted form beautiful or humanly so ironic, is that it's not supposed to be, but he can see past that. I'm not going to get into a whole Sakoku bit because then this video will be a lot longer than it's supposed to be, and I will definitely go down a soapbox and not get back to the topic that I had brought up in the first place. And so I have taken it upon myself to do the proper research to convey that information onto you so that whenever you're explaining something like this to someone or you're trying to make art of it, you'll understand it fully. Or this is also for the people like Shroom who just want to listen to me talk. Now, corruption is displayed fairly differently from the manga and the animation. Yes, I understand that Bone Studios and Harakawa had different creative interpretations for what they thought Chuuya's corrupted form would look like. Bone's creative interpretation of Chuuya's corrupted form was much, much different than Harakawa's interpretation of Chuuya's corrupted form. In the anime, the corruption scars are much sharper. They're like slithering up his arms, and they're making eye-like shapes on his face, and his pupils dilate quite frequently. Contrary to that, in the manga, Chuuya's corruption scars were much softer and took over more of his face than they did in the anime. His arms were completely covered in what I would assume to be a dark red or purple saturation of just this evil and eerie essence. Because that's what corruption was. It's calamity, it's destruction. It's not supposed to be beautiful. I think now is a good time to actually get into my research portion of the video where I did all of the digging and all of the investigating on my own accord, and now I'm presenting it to you guys on a silver platter. Arahabaki is a Japanese god of uncertain origins. Arahabaki is stated to be a god that is exclusively associated with the Tohoku region. I don't know if I said that right. I don't speak Japanese. The theory goes that the people of Eastern Japan, also known as the Emishi, or the people who do not obey, more commonly referred to as that, had preserved their tradition of Arahabaki worship while they were being driven into the Tohoku region by the Yamato government and the imperial court. In Militia Dogs, it doesn't distinctly say the name of the organization that had captured Arahabaki and brought him into the research facility in Surabachi City. It's safe to assume that it was probably the Yamato government. I will look back onto that because I have a vague memory of them mentioning something, but I can't be for sure. There are 47 prefectures in Japan, so I, again, am not positive. As stated before, Arahabaki is the god of calamity or destruction, but he's also been referred to as the god of travel. Essentially, he would protect travelers that pass through Tohoku City and would bless them in a way to make sure that their journey was fine and nothing would go wrong. It was also rumored that Arahabaki was somewhat a god of healing, where he could heal any injury that occurred on the lower half of your body by giving you medicines and such. So no, it's not like Yosuno's ability where he can just heal people when they're on the brink of death, but it's also somewhat useful. There was also another theory circulating around the Tohoku region that consisted of Arahabaki being a snake god, not controlling the snakes, but being half snake. And there also consists a whole nother theory about him being associated with iron and everything like that. I didn't look into all that because I found it rather boring, and I rather wouldn't want to do that. I really didn't want to do that. According to Yuko Yoshino, the ha in Arahabaki is the ancient word for snake. The habaki means snake tree or dragon tree, which piqued my interest. In the southeast, the Tatsume directions, also known as the inner shrines, hold ceremonies on June 18th. They only conduct these ceremonies on the hour of Mi, which is 10 a.m. Tatsu means dragon, so the Tatsumi direction was the dragon district, essentially, or dragon direction, something along those lines. Tatsu means dragon, Mi means snake. So Arahabaki Kami meant snake, and since it was in the Tatsume district, it was also referred to as snake or dragon. I, for one, love creative interpretation. I will say it as many times as I need to. I love people being creative because it gives me hope in this world, just a little bit. And I really do believe that Bone Studios was trying to show representation for the historical history that was backing up the Arahabaki, the god of calamity, the god of destruction, the god of travel, so and so on. I somewhat believe that the motions they had made for Chuuya's corruption in the anime were very snake-like. The way that it slithered up his arm. This can also bring heavy symbolism to Dead Apple. I mean, Chuuya fought a dragon, and that didn't make any sense to me at first, but now that I've done this research, it makes me think, what if that was supposed to be symbolism for Arahabaki being part dragon. That could be a really far reach on my hand, but I like to go big or go home. So I do think that the whole Arahabaki being half dragon thing could really feed into those headcanons that a lot of the people have, where corruption leaves scarring on Chuuya's skin. Intense heat tends to confuse the brain, and that'll tell your organs to shut down, which will leave all of this work to your heart alone, slowly killing you. I think that's exactly what corruption did. Scientifically, 122 degrees Fahrenheit, a second-degree burn, is all it takes to scar your skin. Mythologically, dragon's fire or breath is 1,000 degrees Celsius or 1,832 degrees Fahrenheit, which is much more than you need to get a scar on your body. I did more digging into dragons, and it said that they regulated their own body heat, meaning that they were able to fully adjust and adapt themselves before and after they had used their flames. So they would cool their body down after, and they would warm themselves up before. No, Chuuya doesn't breathe fire, but it's safe to make the assumption that his skin probably heats up. And with his loss of control and humanity in that state, he can't regulate his temperature. He can't stop himself from overheating. It's not eating away at his skin. It's eating away at his sanity, and it's shutting down his organs by overworking them and overheating them. Adding on to the dragon thing, after Chuuya used corruption for the first time whenever he was in Stormbringer, it said that he grew wings. A lot of people say that those are angel wings, but what if they were dragon wings? I used the best of my creative liberty and artistic abilities to sketch out a few little things that I think is a representation of corruption, at least in my eyes, mentally and physically. Chuuya's mindset, how it is inside of his head versus how it is outside. All I'm trying to do is give you guys the information that I've consumed and my thoughts and feelings of it so that you can take it and come up with some expanse type beautiful, wonderful thing. Whatever you want to do with this. Whether you want to completely forget about it or if you want to act off of it. Do the art. Fucking do the fucking art. Go be above and beyond and do a corruption cosplay that's just completely out of the ordinary. Do something nobody's seen before. I want you to know that this is genuine research. And I might sound annoying and this video might flop and it might be just the dumbest thing I've ever put out there. But I had fun doing what I did. All this to say, happy birthday, Chuuya. And to anyone that's still watching, if you have any recommendations on who I should do research on next, please let me know. This was really fun and I had a good time.